George Lucas.
For what?
Jesus Christ, you asked me to end the show so we could do the after show.
The after show is like sassy, right?
I mean, this is when things get
unbuttoned.
You know what that was just then?
What?
George?
Yeah.
What?
What?
A guest?
Another guest?
Well,
In the after show?
That's crazy. That's nuts.
The after show?
Watto, gosh, let our guests know what you need from them, Watto.
I'm just so upset you said that. That's nuts, and I don't have nuts on hand. I really wish. I feel like I have peanuts in every other room.
Yeah.
In my apartment. Guest! I don't know who you are, because you are a mystery surprise guest. But I want to introduce you as the announcer of the show. Please type your chosen introduction into the private chat, and I will read it verbatim.
Oh. Watto, that's nuts.
That is nuts.
Mm-hmm. That's a good intro. This is a good intro, Watto.
Okay, and quick too.
Yeah.
It's Jon Daly!
Hey! All right! Hey, guys. How's it going there?
How are you,
How's
John?
it going? Hi, George. Hi, Watto. Hi, Patrick. I'm a
John.
big fan, just hanging out here, and the sun's going down, and good to see you guys.
Yeah, I see some sun in the background there.
Are we going to get to see some sunset?
I meant out the window. Yeah.
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 Over there. But yes.
What's on the other side of those Venetian blinds?
This is a set. I live in a set, so it's just going to be a bunch of guys walking by, and I live in a fake. No,
Cool.
it's a fence. It's a fence. That's the view.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ever see Fences?
What's that?
Fences, the player of the film.
The August Wilson play.
Yeah.
I have seen it performed live.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm from Pittsburgh, and August Wilson is from Pittsburgh, and
Reacher.
What's that?
So is Jack Reacher.
So is Jack Reacher. Wait, is he from Pittsburgh, or did that just take place in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's Pittsburgh stuff going on and Jack Reacher stuff, but maybe he's not from Pittsburgh.
Jack Reacher? Maybe he's not. He seems like he's from Europe or something like that.
Yeah.
Are you jerking off, Watto? What's going on?
I'm jacking and reaching.
Love that. Love it.
What was your favorite part of Pittsburgh, John? What do you miss about Pittsburgh? We're getting real quick. We're getting real.
Wow. What do I miss about Pittsburgh? I love Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a great town. I miss playing youth hockey. I don't know. My
Of
childhood, things like that.
Mhm.
It's the city of bridges. It's got more working bridges than anywhere in the world, I think.
Wow.
And it's cool now. Like Pittsburgh, you go there, it's like being in Chicago or Brooklyn or something like that. Like it's
Sure.
definitely got some cool vibes now. Really good cuisine. And food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I miss about it.
No.
But what I miss about it is like, I guess youth hockey. Yeah, youth hockey.
Mhm.
Not much about. I don't know. I think I'm happier now than I was when I was living in Pittsburgh, but
Sure.
I enjoy going back
for
there
these guys?
to see my family. Hook, was this big for me?
No, you root for these guys, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're just shorthand for pirates.
I got you.
I bet he's Steve did a pirate movie.
Yeah, I got you.
George,
Did you
that's
produce that
pretty-
movie, George?
What?
No, he's in it though.
I'm in
He's
it.
in it.
I'm one of the
You're in it.
stars. I'm one of the stars of the movie. I have a love scene.
Whoa.
Smooching on a bridge, and then we fly up into the air.
This
Sex?
this is real, John. I want to make sure you do know this.
Yeah.
There's a scene.
Right.
I'll pull up the picture so John can
I
see
also
it.
just while you're getting the picture, I want to clarify, George, you're implying that holding up a Blu-ray copy of Hook is shorthand for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think that's a pretty tall hand, right?
Yeah, that's a stacked deck. Who's
Yeah.
gonna get that?
So John, this is George and Carrie Fisher making out on a bridge in Hook.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess.
That's yeah, I mean, great. What is that? Is that real? So they shot them making out?
Yeah.
Practical.
Practical tongues? Yeah. That's cool.
A gentleman never tells. But yeah.
I can't say that I'm a Pirates fan, but I can't say I went to the games when I was a kid. I have fond memories of those games. I've been to a game. They got a new stadium and stuff, and it's beautiful, but they're never good. And I would be lying if I said I'm more of like a Steelers and Penguins fan.
Oh,
Sure.
And
this
unfortunately,
guy?
that's because they win stuff. And yeah,
Sure,
Solo.
like this guy, he's a Steeler.
George.
Woo! Hell yeah!
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey,
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Hey,
welcome.
it's
Yeah.
not
What is your Star Wars origin story? How did you first see
How'd you hear
Star
about
Wars?
How'd you hear
How'd you
about it?
I think I must have seen. I saw maybe Return of the Jedi was one of my earliest movies there.
Yeah.
And I saw that in the theaters, and then I got a game that was called Wicket the Ewok, and it was a game based on Return of the Jedi. It was one of those games where they didn't put enough effort into the gameplay, and it's just kind of like you find out it's not a game, even if you're like 5 or 6 years old. You're kind of like, are like, oh, this isn't really a game. It doesn't hold together.
Yeah.
But that didn't matter at that point in my life so much. But that was my first, and then getting some toys, and then I just love the whole IP. Just the whole business of it.
I mean, we love IP, don't
Yeah.
we? We all love IP.
I just love the property. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
I remember growing up as a kid and just going like, God, I just want to make content so bad.
Yeah.
someday."
I just want to feed the content beast and come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
when you create content, there's a reason they call it that. It's because when you've done it, you feel at peace. You feel satisfied.
Mm.
Yes.
There's a
You
reason
cr-
they
you-
call it content.
You
Yeah.
create content.
Yeah.
Is there
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, listen, nowadays they're letting a lot of comedians be in Star Wars. It's almost
Right.
like it's weird if there's a Star Wars thing that a comedian is not in. What would you want to do if they gave you the chance? If they said, John, you could do whatever the hell you want in this Star Wars.
Wow. I would have to be I'd have a little bit of a no, I would have to be like a Luke type, a Jedi. I would definitely be a Jedi, Slitherous Mock or something.
I like that.
Johnnyest Dales or something like that, something really clever. And then it would be yeah, and I would I'd want to have if Jar Jar worked, if Jar Jar, not that it didn't. I love Jar Jar.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't work for a living.
Unemployed. Well, I think you're thinking of it when he was unemployed when we first meet him.
No, that is what I'm thinking about.
He'd be more like how he was in 2 and 3, where he's job.
Right.
Yeah,
understandable mistake.
Again, I'm just thinking of it from a business perspective, so it's just kind of like, did it work? In this film. Anyway. You guys, what was the question here? What
would you want to be? You said you'd want to be a Jedi, though.
I'd want to be a Jedi, and I think my specialty would be, my mind would be a little bit better than I would be more about levitating and knocking things into other things with my mind.
Sure. Okay.
Instead of, and I'd have the saber, but sometimes I wouldn't even open it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even unsheath it. I'd just be like, pew, 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 my mind. And then everybody would die or fall away and all the, or in space. It could work in space too. Just blow up a ship, but then I'm tired. So that's where you see my humanity.
You're relatable. You're relatable. Yeah.
Maybe your character's nickname is Good Brain.
Yeah. Hey, Good Brain. Or that's a fun insult. Maybe that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I like the sound of that. Call me Good Brain.
Yeah.
Jedi Master Daly, John. I feel like if you just say it together.
Yeah.
Jedi
Master. Jedi. Hey, look at this. Look at it. Hey, look at this. All right. Look at that.
Whoa. Put it. Whoa.
Oh, we're going to play that game.
yeah.
Oh, no. We play that game.
Oh yeah.
I am your friend.
Whoa. That would be a twist.
It's not a good.
Now I like George's. No, George, put that back on really quick. I like George's mask because.
Sorry, I knocked my own earphones off, so I couldn't hear what you guys were saying.
That's okay. I said I like George's mask because you could just fully see his eyes through it.
Yeah. Wow. Classic. This had spider webs in it because I pulled it out. It's not like I'm wearing this on a regular basis, guys. So it had some spider webs in it. It's also designed for a small child. So that's not great.
Now, did you buy that for a bit show? What was the surrounding? Why did you buy this?
Why did I buy that? I bought it for some video I did, but I actually just found it in a thrift store. It doesn't have the hood part. It's just this. So, and then this hanging, which has working buttons. If you put batteries in this thing, you actually get a pretty cool beep beeps going. Pretty cool. And it does his voice, but you don't want to do his voice. It has a vocoder thing in it, but it's so bad that it doesn't work. Yeah, I found it at the thrift store once again. Yeah. But I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know where Lotto went, but
he's getting maybe a mask, but
that's what I was assuming.
Yeah.
I would keep the mask on. Thank you, George, for doing that. I would keep the mask on. Honestly, but it's so deeply uncomfortable. It's bad.
Sure.
It's bad.
Sure.
So anyway, I think that's cool. Actually, that could be Cinemas Grump, Marlius, or Senator, General Sleaziest.
Senator Sleaziest feels like a very George name.
Yeah.
Whoa, General Sleaziness was promoted.
Senator Sleaziest at your service.
Or you're at my service. Excuse me. Wow. Wow. Meow.
Yeah.
So
what's Watto building? Watto's
I don't know what Watto is doing.
Whoa.
I mean, John, you're talking about doing voices and stuff, and I was looking at your IMDb earlier because that's what we do on this show. We trawl people's IMDb's.
Oh, cool, man, cool.
And it says that you played Oliver Platt in something.
Oh my God, it might have
Can
been.
you do an Oliver Platt impression? Is that
like that would be Family Guy or something?
I think it was. Yeah, I
Maybe
think it was.
Family Guy. Yeah,
But that's a character that you don't see a lot from people.
Yeah, well, that's Family Guy has very specific jokes in it, and sometimes they'll call me in and just go, "Hey, do Bill Clinton and
Sure.
This, and then can you approximate Oliver Platt?" And then they'll play his voice, and I'll go like, "Okay, guys, I'm Oliver Platt." All right. And they'll be like, "That's good enough." Yeah.
I have to apologize quickly. I don't have a Darth Vader mask. I'm very sorry. I do have a Darth Vader humidifier.
Oh my God, that's just great. That's great. I love you guys. Really good.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Very cool. John, how is LA right now? We heard it's hot. That's what we heard earlier.
Yeah.
It's the first day that feels a bit like summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do when it's hot, John?
I like to go to the beach. I surf. I go surfing with my buddies on my surf group chat, and I've been and what else?
Do you hang 10?
Hopefully hang out and people because the pandemic's over. I just got vaccinated. That's exciting.
That's good.
I'm gonna hopefully go to parties, be social.
Yeah, it's over. I heard it's all over, so that's great.
Can we say this, John? You are the first guest who has ever had to reschedule on the George Lucas Talk Show because you had COVID.
I know. Oh, really? Yeah, I had COVID.
You're the only one. You got it. You were supposed to do the show, and I think it was the day before.
That's right. Yeah.
You reached out, and you had gotten the Rona.
Yeah, there was like a 5 days of having the Rona where it was unbelievably like the worst flu ever.
So no good. I haven't. That's your review. No good. Don't do it.
Thumbs down. Yeah,
I like
thumbs
it.
down. Though it does have good aspects.
Name them.
Name them and shame them.
No, there are none. There are none. Because you could just be healthy and it's good.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then when I got vaccinated, not to scare anyone off, but I did get COVID again for like 1 day, and that was not the best.
Yeah.
But still, get vaccinated, everybody.
You should. Yeah.
Moderna is what I got.
Wow.
Moderna.
I got Pfizer. George got Johnson & Johnson. So we're running the whole gamut right here.
Yeah. Wow, that's like, it looks like if Vader had to like release some kind of gas from his mask before he took it off, like that.
It does.
Yeah.
Also, there's some mask coming out of like the mist coming out at the front, and I can't tell if that's leakage or it's catching on fire.
That's one of the things I tried to get Disney to let me add. After I sold him, I went back. I said, I got a thing I want to do where when Vader gets mad, I want steam to come out of his helmet.
This is the weirdest part when you take the helmet off and it's just Vader's face with a water tank where the brain would be.
Wow, that's sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. He's doing fine. Vader's doing fine.
He's great.
He's great.
Good.
So distracting.
Yeah. How's New York? How's is that where you?
Well,
Watto
and I are.
Yeah.
No, Watto and I are in New York. George is up in Marin County, at Skywalker Ranch.
Great.
I live in the Dakota. Dakota.
with Yoko Ono, yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, I'm right below her. Right below.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll hit my ceiling with a broomstick and tell her you say hi.
Great. Thank you. That's a great view of the marathon you have. I bet it's fun to go out and watch them.
Oh yeah, no, I have a ball egging them every year.
Watto loves his races. He goes from pod racing to the marathon. Yeah. He's all in.
I go, why are you running? Why not fly on your little wings, you dummies?
Yeah. New York's fine. I don't know. I think Watto and I both do not leave our houses, so it seems fine. But who knows?
Watto ain't been vaccinated. Watto sitting here like Mr. Dumbfuck. Still
vaccinated yet,
terrified of the
Watto?
whole world. Not
Right.
for lack of trying.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
say
they're
people
still
keep on
developing
going.
a vaccine for you, maybe.
I know people
I
keep
don't-
on saying like, Watto, have you been vaccinated yet? Why did you get? You should get on there. You should get vaccinated again. And I'm like, oh great, I miss everyone shaming me about not losing my virginity. Glad we can bring back this social dynamic.
Well, that's
Oh,
one of the
Not
things.
for lack of trying.
Hey,
Well-
I had to try. I had to take a concerted effort. Definitely.
I do think, and this will probably make you feel even worse, Watto, is that I happen to know that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man got vaccinated this week because Practical Effects, New York has opened it up so that Practical Effects can get the vaccine, but CGI effects
Wow.
still are not on the list.
They're not. Yeah,
They're
what
more
you're going to
necessary. Yeah, you got to be there on the day.
they're arguing that Stay Puft is frontline, right? Public facing.
Right. Well, in one movie or two movies, maybe he is, but
Mhm.
when he comes back does he come back in the new movies?
He was
I'm
in
making something up. I
Answered
have
the
no idea.
call as a balloon.
Oh yeah.
Not
well,
only is he CGI, he's like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade balloon made out of
ridiculous.
CGI. Ridiculous.
And that guy gets to the front of the line.
yeah,
Good
because
Lord.
he's already like chain. He's like, well, you let the other Stay Puffs. What am I supposed to do here?
Wait till you see when you poke that balloon with the thing. I like how people call it getting poked. It's great.
John, what was your favorite franchise growing up? Was it Star
Oh,
Wars? Did you have something else that
man.
you were really into?
I loved yeah, I mean Star Wars, yeah, growing up, Star Wars, Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I
But also,
love-
listen, don't feel the need to just say
Well,
George properties.
Also, and I
Yeah.
know I don't
Back
know
to the
if you know how
Future.
connected I am to it, but you are clearly, I'm judging from your shirt, you are a big Return to Oz fan.
I love Return to Oz, the Wheelers.
Sure.
You got
Yeah.
the
But
the
TikTok, you're
wheeling-
wearing a shirt that just says the name of the character TikTok
Oh,
over
that's
and over
true.
and
Oh,
over
I
again.
didn't even put that together. Yeah. Oh, wow. Funny.
You're
Yeah.
such a big fan, you don't even realize how big a fan you are.
Yeah.
know-
Just in my blood.
Do you know that George is on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
This show, the George Lucas Talk Show, is on TikTok, and we only have one TikTok that we've done, and it is of TikTok while the Kesha song TikTok plays.
Oh God, that's so great. All right, well, that's
great.
That's a follow for me.
That is
Yeah.
great. If I had to come up with one word for it, I would have said great too. So that's
So great.
Just great. Good
Yeah,
job.
my buddy Walter made that
All
film.
right.
I sort of backed him up.
Help
Yeah.
out.
Uh-huh.
So you like Raiders, you like Star Wars, you
What
like
about some stuff
I
that's
loved-
not Lucas
When I was
related?
really young, I loved Revenge of the Nerds. I loved that because it had nudity.
sure.
And so I had
Right.
that on kind of a tape.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought
You
it
like
was
Nerds in Paradise? You like the second
so
one? You like
fun.
Nerds in Paradage?
By Nerds in Paradise, I was out. I like Police Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I like
How far into Police Academy did you go? How far? When do you think that
Citizens on
starts to lose?
Patrol? Citizens
That's
on
when
Patrol.
you were out.
Well, that's when I saw it and I was like, this isn't funny or it's not good anymore or whatever. But
Right.
You know-
Too much screen time for Zed. You ever hear about small portions? Come on.
I know he's just chewing it up. And they also had, I was into skateboarding and they had skateboarders like acting in the movie. And I was like, they're just pandering. I was like, this movie's sold out, man. Bring back they didn't have to, I didn't tell them to bring back anything because they always had Winslow. They had
Yeah. They got Bobcat, they got Gutenberg.
Bobcat,
You know.
Gutenberg,
Have you you must have worked with Bobcat at this point, right? Or met Bobcat?
I've hung out with Bobcat and done shows with him, but haven't worked
Yeah.
with him.
Now, Patrick was asking you about doing an Oliver Platt impression and some of the
Yeah.
odd impressions you've been asked to do. on Family Guy. You did
Right.
a physical and vocal impression in a movie that I feel like, for how iconic a movie star it is, I rarely see people even attempt to impersonate him. He feels a little bit like a white whale for many, but you did a pretty stellar fucking Bill Murray
Thank
in a
you.
stupid and futile gesture.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah. Bill Murray is, yeah. What a weird job. That was cool. I mean, just got to do just rewatch all of his stuff and every single thing that he ever did and all that, all of his National Lampoon radio stuff down to just like watching interviews and all of his Lettermans and everything.
Yeah.
John is giving us a glimpse into his process, and you decide to cause a ruckus.
Not my fault.
I was deep in process. I made people call me Bill.
Yeah, sure.
And,
John, were there turnkey moments for you? Because the thing I find so interesting is Bill Murray, very iconic movie star, right? Been very famous for decades. I feel like comedy stars in particular usually have such a defined rhythm, shtick, energy that they're somewhat easy to impersonate, even badly. And no one even tries to do Murray. It feels like it's hard, it's ephemeral, it's hard to pin down. Were there turnkey things for you in watching all of his work where you went, that's a thing to hold on to, that's a key for me?
His character, I'm kind of blanking on the name right now. It's Nick something. That is his lounge singer character. Where he's at the kind of Dan Aykroyd's Indian chief. He's just like, hey, what's it's kind of like, it's almost like that character is like more towards like an extreme of him doing this like extreme character, but then you kind of go like, oh, you know, he's got a little bit of Chicago in there, and it's it kind of just once you get the Chicago going, it's kind of like you know, you can figure him out. A little bit. That really helped me. Is just like, oh yeah, he's kind of Chicago, but not really. Like he's just he's got his accent is cool accent. It's Bill Murray. It's like
cool movie star.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever encountered Bill Murray in person?
No, I haven't. I'm sure. I mean, it's a bummer because like doing that. I mean, if somebody did me and it was a movie about, you know, an unfortunate act, you know, an unfortunate thing that happened to my good friend, like it would be not the, you know, it's not. I hope I meet him and he really.
Yeah, and your portrayal isn't negative. I think that movie's fairly positive.
If anything, I think one of the things I've researched and put the most love into in my life. Because of obviously I'm such a gigantic fan. I rediscovered the movie Scrooged for some reason. That really stood out. I was like, damn, this movie is great and holds up. And whatever, everybody watched Scrooged.
But I do feel like that's one that does not get talked about except for like a week in December. Whenever are you watching Scrooged? And that's it.
His performance, I took, you know what? One of the turnkey moments of my figuring out my performance came from Scrooge because it is the movie where he fast whispers the most. He's like, listen to me, man. You just get the fuck down or whatever. Like whatever he's saying, he's got this fast, and it's so funny to me. Anyway,
that whole movie has a lot of people doing impressions of people that you never hear. I've never heard a Christopher Guest impression, you know, or who is Seth Green? I think was Christopher Guest.
Christopher Guest, and did like a perfect job. And weirdly looks like 70s. Guest.
Weirdly, because when that film was announced, I just felt like, how are they going to cast these parts? This is impossible. And what is impressive to me is not only how well they've matched, you know, energy and physical for so many of those parts, but that so many of them were people from like your generation from UCB, that there was a sort of similar camaraderie that was able to sort of map onto the scenes of comedy in the 70s. Like it helps that you and Gemberling, you know, are playing Belushi and Murray together, and that you have a shorthand there.
There's definitely it's a similar feeling of like there's a lot of that scene. It was crazy back in the day, man. So much blow.
Yeah.
No.
Who of the younger generation would you like to play you in the movie of
Great question.
your
Really good question.
your formative comedy years?
Timothy.
Sure.
Timothy.
Timothée.
Timothy Chalamet.
Imitation.
Who would it be? It's probably some TikTok dude, Cameron. What's his for some
we don't know yet.
you know,
That's what it is. Yeah.
somebody just hot, you know, just sculpted and hot. They'll turn people on, and then they'll be like, "Whoa, that guy's you? Hell yeah!" It's always a hotter person, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not that.
So you well no, you
Hold
did
on.
just back yourself into that statement. You are
hotter.
the hotter Bill Murray.
Oh, sorry, Bill. Sorry, Mr. Murray. Oh God, I'm not hotter than you, but let's have a competition where we take off our clothes.
Whoa. I think at this point, I feel like 2021, you and Murray both taking off your clothes, you know, I feel like you probably got him, right?
Look, I mean, you're challenging Bill
I'm not
Murray
gonna
to a dong show.
Dong show. Yeah, they're bringing back the dong show.
Patrick, you have no idea. You're making wild assumptions because Bill Murray's older.
I don't know.
It'll
You're
be my
making
first
wild
dong
assumptions.
show.
You don't know
since I
what
was
he's got under
really
there.
Little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me your dong. All right. You have to say that before you take out your dong.
You must.
Show me.
And
your dong.
and the rule I've heard is if you say it in advance, then nothing's problematic about it.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
yeah. And people are warned before they tune in. It's crazy that it's replacing the floor as lava. Or no, well, that never doesn't make sense. Okay. Next thing.
I mean, Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar was something I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
What was working with them like? Because that's another stacked cast.
That was amazing. Yeah. I
yeah.
have a couple lines at the beginning of the movie Hail Caesar, Coen Brothers movie. And yeah, I just found out about it and told my agent, like, hey, if there's anything, I'll do anything, obviously, in Coen Brothers movie. And that part, they were casting that part. So yeah, they were in the callback. They were super, you know, cool. I was obviously really intimidated and kind of just like, oh my God, like, all right. But yeah, and on set, they were super cool. And I talked to Joel Cohen about the Three Stooges and classic comedy a little bit. And that was amazing. He was very nice and open and super cool. And
what's your take on the Three Stooges? Are they good friends?
I think they're more kind of like it's an odd trip. It's an odd couple. There's the
why they spend all their time together.
They're not triple. Yeah, well, I think they're interdependent. They're codependent, right? They rely on each other. It's like, hey, I got a scheme, you know, I got a scam. So they have to be in cahoots. But while in cahoots, it's just, you know, and they're all given. They're not. The funny thing about they're all given 100% to the endeavor.
Yeah,
you know, this is like my 100%. But I'm banging you with the ladder, you know?
I've always argued that only our closest friends can hurt us most deeply.
Definitely.
And that really matches the Three Stooges because they fucking beat the shit out of each other.
Now, who's your favorite stooge?
Larry, come on.
Larry. Yeah, I like Larry. Yeah, he's...
George, who's your favorite stooge, George?
I like Curly.
Okay. Now, here's something I've never thought about until this moment.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not trying to be cool. I know you guys are all trying to be cool. You all say Larry. You're trying to be cool. Curly goes, woo, 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 woo.
Curly.
That's why I like him.
Curly.
He's the funniest stooge. And I get what's good about Larry.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. But I also know what you guys are trying to do. And I'm not trying to be the coolest guy in the room. I like Curly because he goes, hey, you wise guy, yeah?
Yeah, Curly's the one that you always like first. Like,
sure,
he's the hook.
You never forget your first.
It's the refined palate that likes Larry, George.
Right. Come on.
What are you doing? I'm Larry.
Larry.
Now,
in
the Three Stooges canon, like in world for them, did Curly die and they were just like, this guy looks like Curly, let's bring him into the friend group now?
I think they had a few people. It was like Shemp.
'Cause there's Shemp, yeah.
Joe Besser,
Yeah.
Matt Besser.
Right. That was Curly
Curly
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Curly
Oh,
Joe.
was he Curly Joe? Okay. Then
Yeah.
there was a character named Stinky that
Yes.
dressed
That's
like
Jabba's
a little.
son.
He was a little Lord Fauntleroy dressed with a like a sucker, and he'd be like, and he was like upsetting, like not funny.
There was Iggy.
I don't know who
Iggy
played
too.
that. Iggy?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Iggy
I
Pop.
didn't know about Iggy.
Iggy and the Stooges.
Oh no.
Funny. Oh God, that's
Oh God, Watto, come on.
Oh God, you devil.
I don't know.
Good
I never. It's weird that in World they were like, this is a new guy, but he looks just like our old friend. When
just watching-
Curly Joe showed up.
I'm watching through Game of Thrones, and there's a Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons, has this henchman that switches from season.
They
there's like
do a
season
Curly
3.
Joe. They bring in a
You-
Curly Joe.
So you know about this? I didn't notice it the first time.
I helped
watching the
direct.
show.
I helped direct some of the last season of Game of Thrones.
Oh,
That is
congrats!
true.
That's so cool. Oh, I shouldn't say congrats. I mean, that's probably, but that's
Hey, no,
fine.
I'll take it.
That
I'm not going to
sounds
turn down a
fun.
congratulation from Jon Daly. Thank you.
Thank you, man. You've been entertaining me for decades.
Did you like that last season?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I'm not there yet in this second rewatch, but I remember thinking that it was flimsy and unsatisfying. But I may.
Well, you're
I have
welcome.
no. Oh, there you go.
There he is.
My God! Wow, everywhere. You
Yep.
are everywhere. Good Lord.
Yep.
Did you produce it, George? Oh, see you later.
No, I
man.
just helped out.
Okay.
Yeah. He. I mean, he's gone, so I'll just tell you. He showed up one day, and I think they were like, George, what would you do? And he's like, I'd have him go over here. And they were like, okay, George, that sounds great. You know, I think it was
And
one
they
of those.
did whatever they were doing. and-
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'd do. I'd be like, if he was coming over to my house, I'd be like, look, I'm directing this shot. Please help me place the camera. And he'd be like, oh, how about this? And I'd be like, listen, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to torture you with questions, but hey, there he is.
What's George?
George, what is this?
Oh my
The
God.
ultimate
Is that a humidifier?
The ultimate collection.
20 discs.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
yes.
Oh my God.
George.
All right.
Now we know that George lives in Skywalker Ranch, but it's always surprising when he pulls something hyper specific out that we were talking about. Because I can't imagine the room that he's in is that big.
What I can't figure out is how the room is organized. That's the thing that always gets me.
How did you
Is
pull
that
out
he
the
never
red
has to
tail?
search for the things.
Here's what's great about this. So we got still in the wrapper.
Oh wow.
Volume
Never
one.
wa-
Volume one. So you had the first 2 years. All right. So you got Larry, Mo, and Curly there. Those first 2 years. That's volume one. This is the ultimate collection. And you don't need another collection once you got this one. You got volume two. Oh, there you go.
2 more years.
37.
Wait,
to
I'm
39.
sorry. Let's go back. Little vibe check. Were those 2 volumes also still in the wrapper?
I'm going to go ahead and so we don't have to do it one at a time. Every disc I will be showing you. All right. So here, this will just be a fun segment on the show, right?
This is great.
Volume one, featuring such famous ones as the first one, Woman Haters.
Oh, the best. Yeah, what a funny.
Yeah.
Pop Goes the Easel, and
Ah.
A Pain in the Pullman.
In the right?
In the Pullman. That was Bill Pullman's first acting role. Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
Pain in the
Back in
Pullman.
the 30s.
Okay, volume two still in the wrap, 1937 and 1939, featuring such titles as Three Dumb Clucks, Dizzy Doctors, and We Want Our Mummy.
Ooh.
Wow.
I think I know where that one takes place.
Volume 3, 1940 through 1942. We are now, we start out World War II. The United States joins World War II during this volume, which
I
includes
cannot believe this is a segment.
Give us those
featuring
titles,
such
baby.
titles as From Nurse to Worse, So Long, Mr. Chumps, and Cactus Makes Perfect.
Is So Long, Mr. Chumps a parody on Goodbye, Mr. Chips?
I don't care.
Oh, it totally is. That's
Right? It has to
yeah.
be.
It must be. Volume 4, 1943 through 1945. the height of America's involvement in World War II. We dropped the atomic bomb during that section. Featuring such titles as They Stooge to Conga, which is a play on They Stoop to Conquer. But it's a lot when you've done two plays that are both a little. That actually feels like one of Patrick's hashtags.
Yeah. Sure.
These are like the names of Second City shows.
Phony Express, which is a play on Pony Express.
God, guys.
And Booby Dupes.
That sounds funny.
Booby Doops. Booby Doops is my favorite so far.
What if there was this one in there?
Volume 5, 1946 through 1948. Look, it's wartime.
After the war. The war is done.
They can joke about it.
And look at this little bonus.
Howard.
What if there was just one? What if there's just one that just says like, "Oops, we dropped the bomb," and it's about them on the Enola Gay, like pressing that button? I'd see that happening.
This one includes such titles as A Bird in the Head, Half-Wit's Holiday, and Squareheads of the Round Table.
King Arthur send up. I want to check that out.
Volume 6, 1949 through 1951. This one has a sticker that says all new Volume 6 of the quote fan requested collection on 2 discs.
How many letters did you write before they released this collection, George?
More than a few. This includes such titles as Vagabond Loafers, 3 Hams on Rye,
the best,
and The Tooth Will Out.
Oh no!
The Tooth Will Out? Is that that must be some movie from
Volume 7.
Oh my God,
George!
I believe. Oh, by the way, it looks like Curly was gone for that last volume, and now Curly's fully on. Chump's part of the team now.
Sure.
52 through 54, including
Chump's
such
got that
titles as
center part.
Yeah.
Corny Casanovas, Tricky Dicks,
Whoa.
Booty and the Beast,
Corny Casanovas.
I like Booty and the Beast.
Booty and the Beast,
Booty and the Beast.
and this one's timely coming up. Income Tax Sappy.
All of these
Topical.
They could all be Nicki Minaj songs.
Yeah, somebody do a wet ass pussy spoof, but it's Income Tax Sappy.
Income tax sappy.
There's some forms in this house. Writes itself. Volume 8.
Yeah.
Introducing Joe Besser.
Whoa.
1955 through 1959. There he is right there.
Wow. Now we're nearing the end of the run. Is this the last collection, George?
No, there's a bonus disc.
Okay.
But this does seem like it's a lot. This also, I should say, includes Shemp Howard. We have a little includes Shemp Howard.
And Champ never gets
Featuring,
top billing.
featuring such titles as, I'm going to read more titles from this one because we're ending the era.
Oh, thank God.
Stone Age Romeos, Wham Bam Slam,
Great.
Blunder Boys,
Oh no.
Oh, man.
For Crymin' Out Loud,
Oh,
Husbands Beware,
Oh.
okay.
Oh,
Creeps.
no.
One just called Creeps,
Yeah, they should all be called creeps.
Flagpole Jitters,
Oh, jeez.
I'm not well, but I'm okay. Hoofs and Goofs, Rusty Romeos,
Oh no.
Oof.
Spaceship Sappy,
Love it. Sappy.
Outer Space Jitters, Fifi Blows Her Top,
These
Ooh.
did they just get real horny towards the end? Is that what happened here?
Yeah, it's all about, yeah.
Get horny towards the end?
Cuckoo for consent.
Pies and Guys,
What was that one?
Pies and Guys,
Mhm.
Sweet and Hot, Flying Saucer Daffy,
Oils well that ends well.
Oh God.
And the last one in this collection. Let's get a prediction. Let's do a prediction round. If you can tell me, guess what the final one is called.
Spank me silly.
Slobbin Good and his band of merry men. Terrible. Takes place in the, anyway.
I'm going to guess I'm a noshin on Hamantashin.
Sappy bullfighters.
Oh, they love sappy. Sappy.
Sappy.
That's like their word.
Come on, we're gonna fight the bull. I don't wanna fight it, but whoop, 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 whoop.
Now, then we have this.
Oh my God.
Rare treasures from the Columbia Pictures vault.
Great.
George, how long have you owned this for? How long has this been sitting in a prime position in your room, shrink wrap?
Can I tell you the truth?
Yeah, please.
Wado, you remember when we started taking classes at UCB?
Of course.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd done comedies before. I'd done lots of movies.
Right.
Yeah, American
I
Graffiti,
feel
one of
that.
the most successful comedies of all time.
Yeah.
I'd written stories for so many movies, but I was really worried when I started taking classes at UCB. I remember I'm heading into 101 with Will Hines. And I was nervous that, especially because the pressure was on. People were like, George Lucas is taking classes at UCB. And I was worried I wouldn't be able to come up with good initiations. And I thought to myself, I found myself doing a scene early on in a class. And we started off, we initiated, and we both started by digging holes, digging graves. We were grave diggers.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, it's hard. I feel like we're starting a lot of scenes like that, pretending we got shovels and we're digging.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think of different jobs for people in scenes to do, different scenarios. It might be funny. And it occurred to me, Three Stooges always had different jobs in every short. So I need to get I said, get me all the Stooges films. It came back to me with all this concert footage of Iggy Pop. I said, no, you did it wrong. Three Stooges films. They came back. It was just three of them. I said, I want all of the Three Stooges, not three of the Three Stooges films. You knucklehead. I punched them right in the eyes. They punched me in the face. But now we're happening. This is funny.
So, George, just to clarify, you're implying that you have had these for well over a decade.
That's right.
Because you felt like you needed to learn the basics of comedy.
Yeah, but these are just...
and then you never cracked them open.
They're like Dumbo's Magic Feather. I didn't really need them to be hilarious in improv scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it might be a good thing because I thought, I was already about getting close to retirement age. And I thought most of these kids in the class, they were older than you, Watto, because you were only a few years older than that. You were just a little over a decade old. A lot of these kids are like 20, 25, I thought they're not going to know these references. So if I start off and I'm like, I have a pet washing business. If I initiate with that, where I'm like, we clean clocks.
Yeah.
Whatever the
John, hang on, wait.
Fighters.
John, if you had to come up with a funny job for an improv initiation right now, what would you like? What is the first thing that pops into your head?
Funny German cobblers,
Yup.
Oh
Yes.
yes, pass
Yes.
me the cobbler tool. Excuse me, this shoe will look like a pretzel, right?
Yeah,
Funny. It's a
That's
funny
good.
initiation.
I mean that's a good
There's
one-on-one
you in the
scene.
audience, and there's no net. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who was your first improv teacher, John?
My first improv teacher was God, who was my first improv teacher? At UCB
Or anywhere. I don't know what you did.
Ian Roberts.
Yeah.
Ian Roberts.
Ian.
Yeah. That was my first. Or no, I'm sorry, Armando Diaz.
Armando.
Yep.
Hmm.
The namesake of one of the top forums.
Yeah.
The Armando.
The Armando, yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
Did you did you have any troubles going in like George did? Where you got nervous about certain things or
I was just nervous, a nervous wreck
yeah.
all the time. I was on a team called Mother, improv.
Yeah.
The great. We
Group.
talked about it last week. We talked about it many times. The all-time great, in my opinion.
Mother.
Jason was
Oh,
on
thank
last
you
week.
so much.
Yeah, Jason
Yeah.
was here last week, so we were talking to
cool,
him about
cool,
it.
Yeah. So me and Jason got we were put on Mother, and then we just like ran for 10 years and eventually had this kind of Saturday night weekly show that was
The soundtrack.
the soundtrack.
I actually
The best.
was in New York. I caught your set at the last New York DCM.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Somebody in the booth sounded like they ruined it.
Did
Whoever was
somebody-
whoever was like coordinating the music for that set
right.
really like kept screwing up the cues,
Well, I don't want
messing
to
with your rhythms.
Yeah, I don't want to oh, that's great. Jedi Master Goodbrain.
Yeah,
God,
you and
who
Oliver
made-
Platt.
Who made that?
Really good.
Thank
That's
you
from
so much.
Goldie Thrawn. Someone watching Goldie Thrawn. Oh, and they got the snowman in the background. Look at that.
I mean, absolutely incredible fan art.
There you
please,
go. Look at that.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's
please send that to me on
I
Twitter
will.
or something like that. At me on Twitter.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the kind of thing I'll post because I love it. And I
yeah.
love
You're tagged in it, so you'll see it.
it. Oh, what was the question?
I
Uh,
was just saying the person who was controlling the soundtrack for your form where you
that's
had musical
that's the down-
cues.
It can't be the downfall of the soundtrack. I don't want to put anyone on blast, but
mhm.
some people have better. You have to do the tech stuff for.
I'm putting that
soundtrack.
specific individual on blast right now.
Yeah.
Whoever it was,
say
whoever what poor schmuck
yeah.
was
Wow.
up there in the
Somebody's
sound booth.
responsible-
And I
somebody's
don't
responsible
care.
for playing the music to our songs.
And I don't
Yes.
care if it was a
Yeah.
venue in which it was literally impossible to hear the scenes on the stage from all the way up there in the sound booth.
Yeah.
George, was this someone that we knew that was doing this? Is this what
I'm
you're
speaking
implying?
hypothetically. Patrick, how would I know? I was just
Drunk.
a billionaire watching an improv show. I'm
Okay.
just telling you as an outside observer. Whoever was up in that booth,
Okay.
I don't care what their excuse was, whether it was absolutely impossible to actually hear the scene work,
Sure.
and therefore
Sappy
impossible
sound
to
guy.
accurately.
Happy sound guy. I saw that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Probably not a sound guy. Probably an improviser is what I'm guessing. Probably an
Okay.
improviser
Probably.
who agreed to do it,
Wow.
thinking that he or she would be able to hear the scenes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
we
assuming it was
talked-
an absolute nightmare for that person to be up there, unable to hear the scene work and having to call the cues.
Wow.
Right.
I don't want to sound like too much of a purist, too much of a Luddite, but we talked about this a little bit last week with the Zooks, John.
Yeah.
Eric Appel ran the tech on the soundtrack for years, right?
Well, yes, Eric Appel did for I think initially.
I truly cannot overstate how many of these shows I went to. And part of the fun
It's crazy that you didn't see a CGI blue flying guy in the back of the theater every night, John.
Right.
I
I
was
feel
there.
like it would be
I was
so
there.
weird that I would be blind to it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you're so in the scene. It's the
Yeah.
fourth wall.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
you don't want to
completely
break
when
the
I'm
fourth wall.
improvising, I'm completely in the
Yeah.
scene.
I feel like part of the fun of that show was that people would come, they would bring a compact disc.
Mm-hmm.
Eric would go into the audience, grab them all, and then there was sort of the ritual of announcing all the CDs.
Right.
And it's like, we're all in on the secret. We know the CDs. The audience starts laughing at some of the possibilities, right?
Fun. Yes.
None of you know the CDs. Then the first half of the show, you just did like a sort of kind of standard kind of montagey thing, right? Then you would go, and now the soundtrack, the lights would drop, one track would play, and then from there on out, every scene, the initiation of every scene was, after someone edits, a new song is played, you start off of that. And part of the fun for the audience is, we've sat here for like 30, 40 minutes. We know these albums. We don't know which cuts Eric's going to use, in what order, but there was a sort of anticipatory excitement.
It was a better show.
Right. And then iPods fucked it up.
Yeah.
Like the first time someone brought an iPod, I remember, or the first time at least I saw someone bring an iPod. It was treated as a novelty. No one even knew how are we supposed to pick 1,000 songs in your pocket? How are we supposed to pick? What it just becomes like at DCM shows, a stack of iPods.
Right. Right.
No one knows anything at that.
Yeah, and sometimes we get one iPod, but yeah, it'd be a stack of iPods, and how are you going to look through an iPod if you're doing tech? Like, what level of responsibility are you supposed to have as a UCB tech person? And, searching through people's iPods, and you're right. It depersonalized every time a song would play. You get a big laugh because they were like, "Oh my god, it was this." People would burn CDs for the show sometimes, or just bring terrible albums. You're right. It was ruined by it was more, but even with CDs, if the person wasn't good, if it wasn't Eric Appel or somebody that was very basically like had taste in music, sometimes people would just put on their favorite music. Like, I don't want to call, and again, putting nobody on blast, but one guy was all about pop punk, and there's some pop punk that I like, but it is not good music. I'm sorry. I love everyone that loves it, but it's not. It's a lot. Most of it is kind of whiny, kind of like, let's go. Like,
well, it's also you needed variety for that format, and like the best songs weren't always the best inspiration for scenes.
I will tell you this, John. Hypothetically,
yep.
I bet the reason that person who ruined your final New York DCM show was asked to do that job in the first place is because, and you wouldn't know this, a few years earlier, when you weren't in town, Mother did a show at Lincoln Center, a soundtrack show that was adjacent to a Beatles exhibit, and they asked this same person to do run the music on the show. And this person did an excellent job at that show.
Wow.
George,
I have to get a plug real quick. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Someone feels like
George,
simultaneously. Someone feels like, well, but it's weird though, Patrick, because they simultaneously have a major axe to grind and a lot to prove.
Yeah, this is hypothetical. I said hypothetically.
Yes, hypothetically.
I'm a storyteller by trade.
I guess.
Of course.
You guess? That's your problem, Patrick. Know something. Don't just guess.
No. I guess.
No or do not.
There is no guess.
There is no guess. Unless you're looking to buy jeans.
Yeah. Are you looking to buy jeans, Patrick?
I haven't worn jeans since last March.
I got to admit, I've had bad nosebleeds the last 3 days in a row. I should have been working this humidifier earlier. Watto feels fucking great right now.
We've just experienced the sunset. It's now dark where you are, John.
It is dark, yeah. 100%.
Dark where I am too. Sun went down.
Wow.
Dark in here as well.
Yeah.
Yes, dark side.
In here because of the pandemic.
Dark side.
John, how do you think Tim Naughton is holding up during the pandemic?
Tim Naughton
from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh,
how's he doing?
Of course.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Your old friend.
I think he might be my old friend. To be in his skin again. I think he's probably stressed out. He might be stressed out.
Sure.
That feels like a guy who would he probably is not thriving having to work from home. Like that's a guy who likes to big dog around the office.
Yeah, he's like putting a cigar out in people's coffee, going like, "What the fuck are you working on?"
Right.
And people are like, "Yeah, it's
total." So now he's
dick.
Yeah, he's putting it out in his own coffee because he's working from home. There's no one else to yell at.
Yeah, puts it out in his own coffee and then he cries for an hour.
Yeah, he just drinks some ashy coffee and balls.
Can you tell I'm an improv guy? I was doing the full space work. Try and give it like a whole performance.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah.
What's your least favorite thing that someone has done in an improv scene?
Oh wow, that's.
You don't have to name names. I don't want you to name names.
I would coach improv teams, and teach as many people did for money. And I had a guy who did like the early days of UCB. Like it was way more psychos, and
Sure.
it was like New York weirdo who like
John,
went to
I'd
Unity.
argue not much changed.
Right. Yeah, but it got a little bit less like
Sure.
just like, wow, how did you happen kind of people. And this guy was doing this scene and he was kind of funny, but like unaware of himself and just psycho. And I was like, okay, so what they did the scene and I said, okay, so what did you think you were doing in that scene? And he was like, well, I was asking her to marry me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do that, just get to it, because you were kind of like hemming and hawing on it. And he was like, oh, okay. I guess she didn't like it. And he got up in my face like he was gonna kick my ass. He like went and I can't say that he had to be held. He wasn't held back by anybody.
Sure.
But the dude got in my face like, yeah, motherfucker, let's go. I was like,
Wow.
oh my God, I need to be more gentle with my, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it was just in case people are psycho. I've had, but people in class have, but an initiation in a scene with me, no, there's no bad initiation. You know why?
Okay.
Because we work with what is in the scene. Everything is plastic, and we can bring it to fruition and make an entire little playlet out of just a morsel of information. And
there's a mother scene. It was sort of a run of scenes, a series of tag outs that I think about all the time. Is maybe my favorite thing I've ever seen in an improv show. I wonder if you remember it. Wow. It was, I don't remember how it got to this point, but somehow someone else volunteered that the other person in the scene had a really good Abraham Lincoln impression.
Right. Yeah.
And then it was like, clearly that person, I don't remember the series of performers, but you were in this and there was the buck passing up. I do. That's true. I do. But before that, you should talk to this guy. This guy can do the entire Declaration of Independence from memory, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just like, that's true. But wait until you see this fucking guy. He can do it backwards. I swear to God, this guy can do the whole thing backwards. Like, ultimately, all of you were on stage just trying to overpromise what the other person could do to pass the buck, right?
Right.
And it built to Manzukis was now being pointed at and said, this guy can do the entire Declaration of Independence backwards in Spanish. And he just went, that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. That I swear to you, that is true. And I'd love to do it. I'm going to do it for all of you right now. But before that, I just have to do one thing. And then he improvised taking out a gun and shooting himself in the head.
Right. Yeah.
And it was just 5 minutes of escalation for who's going to end up having to poorly do the thing.
Yeah.
And then he just committed improv seppuku.
Right. And was he shooting himself in an impression of Abraham Lincoln being shot in some way?
I think that was part of the joke, but the other part of the joke was just, we need to get out of this.
That's what I was thinking, is that he both killed himself and imitated Lincoln at the last moment of his life.
Yes, it was both. It was both. Yes.
I don't remember that. I mean, I do remember very little of improv scenes. I think like they don't stick in my memory, but things that other people do, like people on my group, do stick in my mind, but recounting them it's rough. It's rough. And because you end up being like, and then he was like, fucking.
It's like talking about your dreams.
Anyway. Yeah. It's like talking about a dream a bit.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick, people are asking what's on your shirt.
I know. People are, our fan Bring the Noise made. It's a GLTS, Girls Lucas Rock Show. People just wanted to see that. So it's
nice.
It's a cool one.
You know who does a really good Abraham Lincoln is my buddy Steve. Not an impression, Lincoln, but a really good movie about him. He directed it.
Did you guys watch The Mandalorian? Or?
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, the best.
What are you bummed about? You don't like it? You're bummed?
No, I like it. I'm just bummed that they fired that woman. I mean, I'm just not going to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Well.
We'll let you. Hey, if you want to have the floor right now and talk about it, it's all on you.
No,
Well,
I don't
it
want to
just-
be mean. She may be, she's
Outside.
She's a human being, She's a
It's
human
just it's just so unfair that
Yeah.
she was able to say every single thing she wanted and then people didn't like it.
Mhm.
Right.
It's just what is happening to this country when people are allowed to not like the things you have the right to say.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
And
How
so-
dare they? You're supposed to like everything that the famous person has to say. How dare you show disrespect, especially when they're saying things that are harmful.
yeah, especially when especially when it's a corporation.
Mm.
Oh,
Mhm.
So sensitive.
corporations love free speech.
I love Star Wars,
Love.
That's good.
But
Keep
let's-
saying it because they need to find a new cast member, John. I'm telling you, this is how you get it.
All right. I'll do whatever.
Okay.
Hey,
Mandalorian.
how about this?
Mandalorian.
How about this? I'm gonna give you some lines, and
okay.
and I'm gonna take out some of the specifics. All right, but this is for season 3, and if you can sell this, you might just get yourself a role in season 3.
So you have a lot.
We can put you in
Okay.
because there's a particularly.
You're writing on season 3.
I'm helping out with because there's some things they needed help with. I said I know how to deal with because you're writing towards kind of a tricky situation. So I'm going to drop out the character names just for legal reasons. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So here's the scene. You say, "Oh yeah. I'm her brother. She had to go."
Oh yeah. I'm her brother. She had to go. Right.
Okay, that's the first line. You
Comedy-
did that perfect. So like, "Oh
Very
yeah. I'm her
good
brother.
comedy take.
She had to go," and then they'll ask, "Where did she have to go?" And you're like, "I don't know. She was here 5 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden she started like freaking out, and she said, I might never come back.'"
Okay. So what's my first line? Sorry.
I'm her brother. Yeah, she had to go.
Yeah, I'm her brother. Yeah, she had to go.
Where did she go?
What's my line?
I don't know. She was here 5 minutes ago, and then she said to me, I got to get out of here, and she left.
I don't know. She was here 5 minutes ago, and then she said to me, "I gotta get out of here," and then she left.
And then you hold up a picture saying, "Here's a drawing of her."
Here's a drawing of her. Does that help?
No, hold it up so we can't see it. The other person sees it.
Well, my Star Wars character would be able to use his mind again.
This is not the Jedi character. This is not your Jedi character. This is this is a brother of a character we're writing out.
So this is the brother of a character. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
the
not getting.
brother
You're still gonna get to play Jedi Good Brain.
Okay. Good. Okay. So what's the line? Go for it.
Here's a drawing I did of her just to prove that I'm her brother.
Here's a drawing I did of her just to prove that I'm her brother.
What is this scene, George? I cannot make sense of this.
I'm not sure how much I can say. It's just sometimes you're writing towards specific circumstances, and you have to be. And this is my writing's definitely been helped by my improv training, because taking 101 with Will Hines and 201 Hines, I know how to yes and a tricky situation. It's like John said, there's no bad initiations. And when you're telling a story, you suddenly have to adjust to maybe an actor not being around anymore. And you need to suddenly sort of, it's not the same as doing a herald, but there's a form of, sometimes writing can be a little bit like improv. Because here's one of the things I think about improv. Part of what you're doing when you're improvising is you're writing while you're writing on your feet. Improvising, you're writing the thing because you're thinking of the things that you're saying.
It's spontaneous.
That's what writing is thinking of things that you're. It's one of I sometimes will draw a line between improvising and writing where I'll say they're not so different.
Absolutely.
Wow. That George, that's cool.
Yeah, improv is like writing and acting, and there are elements of improv baked into almost every art form, I would say.
Yeah. And you got to turn that oven up hot if you want it to bake in a way that it tastes good.
Absolutely. You got to crank it up.
Wow.
You got to crank up the heat. You try baking something with a cold oven, you're going to not have a very tasty treat.
Bato is trying to get to the point where he can't see this screen anymore. I feel like I'm 75% of the way there.
You should have it send the smoke up your trunk, Watto.
I mean, that's pretty much what's happening already. Let's see.
Just put those
Yeah,
nozzles
put it
right down
right-
the thing.
Oh shit, you're huffing humid. It's actually a pretty nice slice.
Wow, it's coming out from behind your glasses.
Yeah, it is, baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it got to come out somewhere.
Oh boy.
I almost don't ever want to see Watto any other way. There's so much good atmosphere with the steam just coming right through that trunk. It's like you're having a schwitz.
I'm schwitzing. A little Passover schwitz.
I can see your character going into a nice schwitz.
Oh,
absolutely.
I
doing
asked George, I said,
can
can
see
there
you."
be a kibitz room on Tatooine? You know?
Right. Do you remember the line? Do you remember the line that we cut? Remember the
Please.
one where you said, "May the schwitz be with you"?
I said it all the time.
Yeah.
And you kept on going, Watto, I told you we can't put this in there. And I said, come on, it might work in this scene.
Except instead of being full of scum and villainy, it is full of what would it be?
Steam and
Steam.
and
Steam and camaraderie.
And
Steam and
camaraderie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never find
It's
a
a
more
hive.
refreshing hive of steam and camaraderie.
Thank you.
Watto, can you say it? It got cut, so I feel like we should
Yeah.
hear it from you.
Yeah. You'll never find a more refreshing hive of steam. And camaraderie.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Good.
Very good.
Ugh. John, what's your dream role, John?
My dream role?
Yeah.
Patrick's got this style as an interviewer where he asks you a question and then at the end of the question makes it sound like he is so burdened by the fact that he had to ask you.
John,
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's your
Also-
dream role?
Also, right now, Patrick has sort of assumed stay back where you were, how you are. Patrick has fully assumed the role of like a lazy panda.
Yes.
He's just rolling around like a straight up panda bear. Are there things in showbiz that you are on your dream list of like, here's the thing I really want to accomplish that I haven't arrived at yet?
I'd love to play Blade.
Blade, the
The Daywalker?
Yeah.
Oh boy. John,
I can't be a part of this convo.
I love that.
John, I think Mahershala got there first.
Is that what's going on?
They went a different way.
Those auditions, I just kept putting myself on tape for it.
Well, wait a second. John,
Yeah.
I believe it was just recently announced you are playing a Marvel character. You're in
I
the
am.
upcoming MODOK series. You're playing Super
Yeah.
Adaptoid, correct?
Yes, Super Adaptoid. Yes. Very cool. Very cool.
Now, this is a character that has not been in the live action movies yet.
No.
Talk to you guys
Not
later.
been
I'll
in
see you
the-
guys
Not
later.
been in the live action movies yet.
You could
I
carry the
haven't,
role over.
I
Hey,
have his Lego. That's his Lego character.
he's a cool character. Now, John,
Foot.
Watto's a big fan of the Lego Marvel video games.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Super Adaptoid is literally the best character to play as. He's the best one to unlock because he just
that right?
has every power set, essentially.
I had no idea that he was included in that game, but that's cool.
He is. He looks just like that figure you held up, but it's mostly like you have to switch between characters because you're like, oh, this one needs a web, this needs flying, this needs
Right.
magic. Super Adaptoid kind of has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he's he turns into whatever you need him to be. And in the show, he ends up turning into some stuff that is pretty crazy. So
Does
tune
he
in
turn into
No
Oliver Platt?
May 21st. No, only
Wow.
only Oliver Platt. Yeah. God bless him. He's a great actor.
One of our finest.
Yeah. He's great. Why did I say God bless him? That sounds like he's something bad happened or he's a bad person. I don't know.
Patrick, have you thought about what you've
Oh,
done?
great.
What did I do?
Are you prepared to re-ask the question, but with a little more enthusiasm and not make it feel like the burden is on John, like you are so burdened with having to ask?
John, when I you said yes that you'd come on the show, I wrote down a list of questions, and one of them was, "What's your dream role? What have you have yet to accomplish that you still want to play in Hollywood?"
Who do you want to work with? What types of genres would you like to enter?
I want to do everything. I want to do comedies and dramas and actions and yeah.
John, would you be willing? I know that Blade, the superhero property, is off the table for you, at least for the moment.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Would you be willing if Pixar came to you and said, "We'd like you to star in Blade. Hear us out. It's a sequel to Reservoir Dogs about that knife that cut off that police officer's ear. And it's all about the razor blade. And we're gonna deal because he didn't want to do that. He fell into the hands. He wanted to shave people's faces. He didn't want to cut off ears.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to do that? Now, it's going to be executive produced by Quentin, but he's not writing the screenplay. He's just sort of giving his blessing to it, but someone else is going to be writing it.
Well, I'd read it and I'd take a lunch.
You'd read it. Hold on, let's break this down. You'd read it and then you'd take them to lunch. That's a power move.
I take them to lunch. Yeah, I offer. That's the thing. You have to put yourself out there for people, and then they're
So you would take the studio out to lunch.
Yeah.
Where would you take them, John?
Where would you take them?
What is your lunch spot in Los Angeles?
My lunch.
If you want to cinch a roll, where do you take them to seal the deal?
Let me see. I take them to the right on Cahuenga. There's a great In-N-Out right across from Vivid Video. In North Hollywood. So that's a great place. It's just catnip for those execs. And unfortunately, and then classic places like the Palm, Nobu.
Yes.
The
Brown Derby.
The Brown Derby.
Did you say Naboo?
Naboo. I wish we could go to Naboo.
Not real, John. I hate to burst your bubble. It's just a place I made up for my stories.
Unfortunately, not real.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Wait, Naboo would be a good planet. Wait, remind me?
Great planet if you could go there.
Great.
Naboo's the grassy one that Jar Jar lives on, and then
he lives underwater, and all the royal people are above. That's where Amidala is.
Under the water. It's a very wet city, but they all stay dry down there.
Yeah. George, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Wow.
Don't make me choose.
This is big.
I know they're all your babies.
They're all my babies. I think of them as just one big Star Wars with just one flawed movie, and then the ones that were made after me.
Okay. Totally.
Like, I just think it was like 5.5 great movies, 5.5 perfect movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then two more perfect movies, and then some other movies. Are you excited that Ewok movies are coming to Disney Plus soon, John?
Super stoked.
Super stoked. Yeah.
George, you have to give John your ranking because you've got a ranking
in the number one slot. Okay, this is my Star Wars ranking. Okay, in the number one slot, it is a tie between Phantom, Clone, Sith, Hope, Caravan of Courage, Battle for Endor, Return of the Jedi, and then coming up, bubbling under it, number 2, The Empire Strikes Back. Too much improv in that movie.
Improv?
Yeah. It's like, I don't mind. I'll go watch Waiting for Guffman or
feel it. Yeah.
What?
You can feel the improv. It's like
You can feel it. There, you practically feel them do a pattern game warm up in the opening scene. They're just like it's loosey goosey. I'm like, look, I just watched Bad Trip. Is it Bad Trip? Is that what it's called? The prank movie?
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, this feels like Empire.
Right.
It feels like a bunch of pranks and goofs.
Harrison Ford improvised the line. She said, Leia says, I love you. He says,
Yeah.
I know. And that was improv, right?
George hates it.
I hate that. I hate that. And this is a guy who's lining up with my student card to go see Herald Night all through 101 and 201. I don't mind seeing a Herald, but don't turn Star Wars into Herald Night.
I agree.
Actually, if I'm being honest, it's Lloyd Night.
Whoa.
Sorry, that's a more contemporary reference. And that's no shade on anybody. That's good shows too. But now, don't do that 5 movies deep into a series. You're making the 5th movie in a series, and you decide it's time to like do an invocation.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it didn't, a lot of the movies didn't come together at the end like you wanted a Herald.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Very open-ended.
Yeah. When they get to Cloud City, I'm like, it's Connection Island. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, so Luke's here, and they're all just like references to stuff that happened before.
Now, do you think of the credits rolling as a blackout?
What?
Do you think of the credits rolling as a blackout?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We should also mention, I mean, few people have done more for the art of wipe edits than George Lucas.
True.
Yeah.
That's what I said to about this mean dog the other day. I said, wipe edit.
Oh,
John.
John.
See, now here it's fun, but if that was Empire Strikes Back, I'd be like, let's not do that here.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
great
we're not on
improv.
set
Great
right
here.
now, you know.
Yeah.
Great.
Sunday night, it's very
fun.
relaxed
Very fun.
atmosphere,
We're having
relaxed
fun.
atmosphere. Yeah.
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 Wow.
You know, and they don't get credit for it. You know who did all the edits in the Star Wars movies?
Mm-hmm.
It was those Cottonelle bears.
Hmm.
Remember those bears?
Why? Because they
Oh.
wipe.
Because they wipe themselves, George, with the
George.
toilet paper?
Well, originally they
George.
were. I would be like, "You bears get in here, and you need to edit these scenes."
Are those
And
the
then
bears-
later they branched off and they got that gig
the
because
ones
that's
that
what they were good at.
Are those the bears
Charmin.
that
No,
are like,
sorry, Charmin. They're Charmin. The Charmin bears.
"Oh." Okay,
Yeah.
Charmin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're making that sound, John. That sound that we all recognize is the sound you make when you have no dingleberries.
Yeah, that's right. Oh. Yeah, and you can hear that. You can sometimes hear that in the mix, right along with John Williams' score. You'll hear that noise.
Clean crack.
Yeah.
Clean
That's
crack.
what that movement is called.
Yeah.
Clean crack.
Just look, you see this picture and you hear the noise.
gross.
Yeah, you can hear it. Well, because
Funny because they're bears.
it's funny because
Mhm.
they're bears, and as you can tell. Look at them; these are definitely the bears that did all the wipe edits in Star Wars.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
If I saw that bear and he introduced
Yeah.
himself as a white edit.
And for anyone who thinks, that,
Hey, John.
you know, it's like Harrison said, George, you can write this shit, but you can't say it. That was what he was talking about, Star Wars.
He
Mhm.
said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Bears came up to you on set and they said, George, we can wipe this shit, but we can't edit it.
All right. Well, then we'll wipe it. That's an easy problem, Bears. What were you doing on the movie before, Bears?
And what were your forebears doing in that movie?
Yeah, what were your forebears?
That was
although
four bears.
I was gonna say, I guess it's a lot to hire 4 bears to edit a movie. Like normally it only takes one person.
Well, the
But
reason
it's
we called them
impressive.
forebears is because it was on episode 4 that they first started working on Star Wars.
Yeah.
So they were forebears,
Oh,
meaning
that's
I
interesting.
Four
B.
Bears.
You know why?
I.B.
'Cause
bears.
I found that movie a little soft.
John!
Yeah. But there are some grisly parts.
George!
Yeah. It's got okay. Panda.
Work through it.
It's gotta be Panda.
Polar.
Well, we tried not to pander to the audience.
George!
Try not to, thank you.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn it. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a willy-nilly silly old movie.
George!
Oh.
Bernstein.
John!
Come on, George, you got something.
I do remember because some of famously Brian De Palma was very critical of the movie when he saw first cut. I actually played the audio of the first Star Wars movie for Werner Herzog, and I remember when he got done listening to it, he said, "No one should ever hear this movie. No one should ever listen to this movie."
We're getting further away from it.
Yeah,
It's weird that the comic strip character Kathy was in that because it was written in the script that Kodiak. There's something.
The Empire Strikes Ack.
The Empire Strikes Ack. Yes.
Yeah.
Watto, come on, give it to me, Watto.
No.
Well,
who cares? Care Bears.
John!
Yeah.
We also a lot of the characters. We had a lot of characters who were diametrically opposed. Real polar opposites. But it's a honey of a film.
You should have waited, George. You could have saved that one.
I don't need to save it.
Okay.
What are we waiting for?
Don't hibernate on that.
What are more? I thought that the first movie was too hot. The second movie was too cold.
Ooh.
And the third movie was just right.
George, if you ask me, all three of those movies were sweet like honey.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right. Bear with me.
Oh.
Let me get my bearings. One of the characters was named Ted E, right?
John.
Yeah.
Not makes no sense. Yeah. Wow. What? It's hard. There's not much.
You're saying there's
Not
barely anything left?
Yeah, there's barely.
Watto!
Wow. Watto. Yeah, I thought it was really twisted. Afterwards, they'd need to stretch with a yogi.
John.
I remember when we were casting Han Solo. I remember when we were casting Han Solo. Two of the people we were considering were Francis's nephew, Nicholas Coppola, Nicolas Cage, and also Nick Nolte. But I couldn't pick a Nick.
What a basket
One
case
of them.
you are.
Yeah, it was a basket case.
George and
John.
Ranger. He was a ranger, right? The Mandalorian.
Hyper speed, but also sounds like hibernation.
George, are you okay?
We got to push past it. It's hard. Comedy's not easy. People think it's easy.
Oh, you know,
but we keep trying to do funny things even when it gets hard to do them. Like, it's not good anymore. What we were doing was great, but we're just working now. We're working hard to make these really funny
you know what
things.
was great when Obi-Wan Kenobi or Luke Skywalker sang to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ben, I know the Force is coursing
famous
through.
Captain EO song. Captain EO song.
Right.
Now, George, I do want to say we have barely just pushed past our normal block that we like to celebrate. Do you guys want to tell John about it? We just barely pushed past
stuff. That's the stuff.
That's the stuff.
Are you gonna? Do you want to explain to John?
Oh, did you ever see? Did you ever watch this?
Yeah.
Well, we used to do really long shows when we were doing these. Our first digital show was like 31 hours, and then we did a bunch of marathons for like 8 hours, 9 hours, 10-hour shows. And then at one point we said we can't keep doing long shows every week. It's too exhausting. Let's do short shows. And I said our form should be for our short show should be what we call an Irishman Plus. So when we do a short show, all of our shows are at least 1 minute longer than Martin Scorsese's The Irishman. And we've just achieved that a couple of minutes ago, where this show has now gone longer than The Irishman.
Cool.
But Watto, do you want to announce? And we always celebrate. We always celebrate when we reach that. But maybe we have an announcement just after we celebrate. Because one of the things we've learned. Party time. Huh?
That was badass.
That was badass.
And I think you'll
So good to
find
party like that.
yourself agreeing with something that we learned almost a year ago, John.
What's that?
That sometimes it feels quite good to be Vlad.
Wow.
John.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you guys like demarcate your show by different happenings in the Irishman? Like, are you guys, we gotta hurry up, it's Maniscalco, or like guys, we gotta hurry up, it's it's Grisabella's shooting that just dropped,
look, I mean, we don't necessarily do that, but the show definitely goes through shifts, right? And it feels like we do the main show with the guest, then it feels like that's ended, Patrick's booted them, a surprise guest comes in, that's the after show, we've had the fun time. But once we've Vladed, it kind of feels like the after show has ran its course.
Right. Okay.
Right. Like, we can't just stay in this space post Vlad.
Of course. Yeah.
We're running on fumes at that point.
Yeah. And also, the sun has gone down.
Yes.
It feels like there's a shift,
Both suns? Is it
Both
a Star
suns.
Wars reference?
Even on the
suns,
earlier time zone, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes you feel like, okay, the after show is over.
Yeah.
But the
then
show
what that means,
feels like it's pivoting.
Yes.
And it's times like that where you feel like, hey, you know what? I think this might be the George Lucas Talk Show After Dark.
Should I howl too?
Hey, John, welcome to George Lucas Talk Show After Dark, baby.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
nice. Yeah.
This is just another section of our show. This is what we call, the shows. We're getting towards the end, getting late.
I'm loving it.
Time to turn the lights out. Time to light some candles.
Time to light the menorah.
Yeah.
Time to light the menorah.
It's time to light the lights.
Wow.
Happy to be here, guys. This is the sexiest part of the show so far.
It is.
Hey.
It's
Hey.
pretty.
You're not wrong. Has there been a least sexy part of the show so far?
Great question. We always like to get this kind of feedback from our guest, John.
Yeah.
What part of this evening has been least sexy to you?
The puns. That was probably
John!
that was probably the least sexy, but one of the most enjoyable parts, but not because of the raw sexuality of it.
So you think
It's
if you were
fun, fun.
if you're ranking, that would be last place. So you'd say narrowly beating that for least sexy, narrowly for slightly sexier was when I opened up my previously unsealed Three Stooges box set and went through them one volume at a time, just revealing certain select titles from each volume.
You know what? I'll take that. You're absolutely right. That was
Yeah.
the least sexy. You're right.
Was
Just
that perhaps
no arguments. Just absolutely right. Yeah.
so that I'm wondering if perhaps not only might that section have been the least sexy thing that's ever happened on Twitch, it might be the least sexy thing that anyone's ever done on the internet.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a
Wow. Look at you.
Look at what the...
wow.
Head in the
Nice.
clouds, baby.
Total vape life.
We did also get Bring the Noise sent me. Hang on one sec. I'll bring this up.
Savion Glover?
Yes.
Yeah. That's me as a panda.
That's just uncanny.
Arliss.
I love the fact that panda's mustache grew above the panda
Yeah.
Patrick mustache grows above the nose.
And it has that's a Fu Manchu.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's usually what I go for is the Fu Manchu. It feels appropriate and okay to do in 2021. So
Well, it's
Appropriate.
just a kind of mustache, and
yeah.
you know.
No, it's fine. Yeah, any kind of mustache is fine. There are no mustaches that are not okay.
Patrick, you do realize that when people say that you're appropriating something, they're not telling you that you are being appropriate.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, no, I get
Well,
that now. I get that now.
That's just
Sure.
my friend telling you.
Wow. So what's everyone doing this week? What do we got coming up this week?
Patrick, I have a question. Should we go ahead and announce, because we sort of got close to this because we talked about drunk history earlier in the show before John got here, and then we talked about Lampoon, and we kind of got close. I think Aykroyd might have even been mentioned. Is it worth putting the offer out into the ether? What I'm willing to do?
I don't know
think
what
we
you're talking.
should. I think
Oh,
we should. There is a show idea we have discussed internally for a long time.
Yeah,
And,
we've never
and we have
revealed
not
it publicly.
we never revealed it, and we have not been able to sort of get through the powers that be to even really feel like have the idea considered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
George does not drink.
Mhm.
I mean, I have, but I don't really.
You do it very sparingly. It's not a thing you like doing. It is a thing you avoid at most times, almost all times.
Yeah.
We have often put as the highest stretch goal when we do charity fundraisers that George will get drunk for, I think, what is it, $12 million? We unfortunately have not been able to get close to that. So then we were talking about, George, are there any scenarios in which you would get drunk on this show? Because I do think it would make for an interesting, unique, special night. And we did come up with an idea that George consented to. Do you want to share it, George?
Yes. So, Dan Aykroyd, star of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, also starred my buddy Steve's 1941
Twilight Zone movie.
Twilight Zone the movie.
Bassomatic 3000.
Bassomatic 3000.
Fred Garvin, male prostitute.
Male prostitute.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Dr.
like us.
Detroit.
Strunk brother.
Nothing but trouble.
Trading places.
Spies like us.
Gross Point Blank.
The couch
My-
strip.
My
Chaplain.
stepmother is an alien.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Conehead's
said
the
that
movie. Conehead's the sketch.
Wow.
Driving Miss Daisy.
I
George,
now
are you not listening, George?
pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
My Girl.
The sketch where he would sell broken, shitty toys. He was like a bad toy guy.
The sketch where he would sell broken, shitty toys. He was like a bad toy guy.
The YouTube sketch where he sells Skull vodka.
Well,
Now,
John.
here we go. Here we go. So
What
now
an
we get to the
interesting
meat of it,
credit.
don't we?
Is this the thing?
Yep.
We want to do a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull vodka episode, and I will spend the entire show drinking his Crystal Skull
This is
vodka.
the offer. If
This is the offer.
if Dan Aykroyd is willing to come on the show, he is the only guest for
will
however
just
long he wants to stay on.
Promote his vodka the whole time.
He's a
We will
legend.
each have a skull. We will drink the entire night, and he can talk about UFOs. He can
Absolutely.
talk about ghosts. He can talk about anything he wants with us, and we will drink his vodka for 4 hours.
I ain't afraid of
Okay.
no ghosts. Oh, I
Whoa.
got spit on it now so we don't hear it. Hold on, I gotta drown out the music. Hold on.
Wait, did you?
All right.
George, did you have a piece of Ghostbusters? Did you produce Ghostbusters?
No, I'm just a
All right.
fan.
All right.
I'm sure ILM worked on it in some fashion, though.
Wait a second. Wait
They
a
did.
second.
They definitely did. They definitely did because George, there's a
No,
bunch
they
of
didn't.
Ghostbusters-
I wasn't.
They worked on
No.
they worked on Ghostbusters 2. They famously didn't work on Ghostbusters
Well,
1. They were pre-obligated.
That's not what Patrick asked.
What did he ask?
I don't know.
Wait a second. I think I sense the idea for a great George Lucas talk show. It's getting closer. If only Dan Aykroyd would agree to drink with George, Watto, and Patrick on any Sunday night of his choosing.
I'll drink the whole skull if Danny will come by the show.
I will drink the entire skull if Dan Aykroyd comes on this show.
Can
I
you
don't like
guys-
drinking that much, but I'll drink enough of it.
Speaking of impressions, can you do a anyone do a Dan Aykroyd?
John, you ask if I can do a Dan Aykroyd impression.
That's pretty good. There you go. That's good. Got it.
Frank, do you know Frank Hale, John? Frank Garcia Hale. He does a great.
Yes. Yes.
He does a great Dan Aykroyd impression.
Crystal Skull Vodka.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Awesome.
Have you guys seen the clip where he's talking to Larry King about how he doesn't think aliens will come to visit us now after 9/11? He thinks we scared them off after 9/11.
No,
Aw.
but don't ruin it because I want him to tell us this himself. I want to hear it fresh from this
I
source.
want to confirm that is true because Nice Jones put it in the comments immediately at the same time that I said it out loud.
He has been, in my mind, the ultimate guest for a while now.
Yeah.
And the promise of the entire Kingdom of the Crystal Head Vodka episode pushes it way over the edge.
He's a great guest. I just listened to him on WTF with Mark Maron.
He's got a good WTF.
Who are his
Yeah.
guys? Who are his guys?
Yeah.
Who is guys?
Who are
Who's
Danny's guys?
Who's
What?
guys?
Who are your guys, Danny? Bill Murray's one of his guys, for example.
Yeah.
Bill.
What about Belushi?
Belushi.
Belushi.
Gilda
You say Chevy was one of his guys?
Jane Curtin.
Did
Chevy?
you say Chevy?
I don't know. He might have flicked him off in a picture. I'm not sure.
No,
Did
but
he-
they famously went on to like they might not have been the best of friends on SNL, but then they team up again for Spies Like Us and Nothing But Trouble.
Spies
Classic
Like Us.
comedy team.
Guys like us. is
And
a movie
Caddyshack
that does
too.
Not hold up.
Caddyshack too.
Sorry, guys.
The Shack too. The Shack is back.
Yeah. Keep your eye on the fruit. Keep your eye on the fruit.
Not a
Eagle.
lot of references, direct references to Caddyshack 2 that you'll hear. But
Love Caddyshack 2. I like Caddyshack 2. Let me make it clear. I saw it and loved it before Caddyshack 1 because I was,
Wow.
yeah, I wasn't like Caddyshack. I was
So to
too
you,
young.
Caddyshack is a prequel.
Yeah, I like to think of the part 2. Dan Aykroyd has a laser guided golfing
Yes.
system, right? And
God, I'd love to talk about this with Dan. Half a skull deep.
he also has a great. I want people to go watch his recent Seth Meyers interview.
Yes.
Watto, have you seen this, Watto?
This is, I talked about this to you and I said, why haven't we gotten him on the show after this interview?
He does the whole interview. I believe he's holding his phone and he's walking around outside and then like goes into his office and it's like a Steadicam shot. It's wild. It's wild.
He like is so obsessed with the vintage police car that they used for the Blues Brothers that he tries to buy every one that ever goes up for sale. But he knows that if he reaches out as Dan Aykroyd, they will gouge him on the price. So he has a team of people with fake names who reach out and make bids on these cars pretending not to be Dan Aykroyd. And then he just like shows off his garage. He's like, here's another one I just got. My daughter has 2. My father has 1.
he could just do a character. Why does he have to have people? Gee whiz.
I know.
Do
He
you
could
think-
do
do you
a
think-
voice.
I would like to buy a car, and they're like, "Dan, we know this is you."
A wild
Come
and
on.
crazy car. We are from
Or-
France. I want a car.
Or he could just pretend to be Elwood Blues and say nothing.
Do you think that the reason that he's gathering up all those police cars is to get enough of them to wreck them all?
That's my thought. He wants to do the biggest car pileup
Is he
in
because
Dan
that's how-
Aykroyd history.
That's how I want to go. Big car pile up like in the Blues Brothers. One of the cars is driven by Macaulay Culkin.
Oh,
The 3000,
we gotta get him.
2000.
Okay, Dan Aykroyd is on Twitter. It mostly seems to be a promotional account. But March 26, I recently had the opportunity to share some of my story and experience with Dan Schwabel on his great podcast, 5 Questions with Dan Schwabel. Crack open a bottle of Crystal Head and check it out. Dan, let's make this promise right here. If you come on the show, we will crack open 4 bottles of Crystal Head vodka and ask you 30 questions.
All right. Well, I'll ask again. I will ask again.
everyone should ask?
Everyone should ask.
We have There's 466 people watching right now, and I think if you guys all tweet at him, you should come on.
Let's make it clear. I mean, I feel like he's been doing video podcasts. He's been
Yeah.
doing things to promote the crystal.
Yeah.
And we will give him 4 hours of free promotion.
Yes.
The show will be about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
As much or as little, he can come on for 30 seconds. He can come on for 4.5 hours. We will stay on even longer. I'd stay on as long as he wants us to. And I will drink that vodka and I will speak well of it.
I would
Right.
cut off my head and replace it with the skull.
I would do that.
Cut out my skull.
Yeah.
I'm fading. Sorry.
They got new varieties now. They got the Aurora. They have the Onyx. The John Alexander. The Pride Crystal Head. I like that. He said that on the Seth Meyers interview. Did you see that, Patrick?
Yeah, I saw that.
He was like, most vodka comes from Russia. Russia not very welcoming of our LGBTQI plus brethren and sisterin. I want them to know we make this vodka in Canada, baby.
Yeah.
And he has a pride-colored skull.
Whoa.
He does. He's on top of it. Aykroyd's on top.
Aykroyd's on top of it. He's a cool guy.
I'll say this. I will ask again this week. It's been 4 months. I think that's enough time. I can ask again.
Why do you think we're talking about this on air? Because we want you to burn that
I will, but I also want people to let him know that they want this to happen.
I'll call him. I'll leave a message. Dan Aykroyd. My friends want you to be on there. Oh boy.
Let's say also that he can be musical guest on the show. The George Lucas Talk Show.
That gets you
with
Jim
your
Belushi.
host, Dan Aykroyd, musical guest, Dan Aykroyd, a cartoon from Crystal Head Vodka. What if we wear sunglasses and suits the entire show, drink vodka, let him talk about anything he wants, ask him 30 questions?
I also want to be clear. If Jim Belushi wants to come on and talk about his weed farm, I'm okay with that too.
We tried to get Jim for the Super Buddies marathon, did we not?
I don't remember if we did or not.
I think you would remember if you tried.
I don't remember if we did.
I think we did.
Patrick, you would remember if you tried.
Pretty certain.
John, I mean, we're wrapping up here.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to plug to the world? Any stuff you want people to go watch?
Yeah. There's a movie called Happily, starring Joel McHale, Carrie Bechet, and Stephen Root.
David Gordinsky.
Yeah, exactly. And that
Paul Scheer, Charlene Yee, bunch of friends.
I could. The whole cast is. It's a lovely movie, and check that out online. It's called Happily, directed by my friend Ben David Grabinski, who's amazing. And also check out Marvel's MODOK that comes out May 21st. And then also check out Made for Love, a really cool show that is coming out, I believe, in May, though I don't have the date in front of me. I have part on that show, and I think that show is going to be really cool.
Is that the Kristen Milioti one?
Kristen Milioti, Ray Romano, Patty Harrison's in it.
Whoa!
It's going to be super cool, and it's a very weird show. And Alyssa Nutting wrote it, and it's based on her awesome book. And then I'm making music, so I got so I have a record coming out later this year. I got a record deal over quarantine, and so I'm putting out a record on Northern Spy Records.
Very
good. I'm going to be
Mark
putting
Rebo's. That's Mark Rebo's label, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Not Max Rebo.
Not Max Rebo. Mark, his brother.
But yeah, check. I'm at Jon Daly on Twitter and Jon Daly Graham on Instagram.
Can you spoil any song titles?
I've got a song called "I'm Eating Pussy" with DJ Khaled. And,
that's a fantasy song. It's a what if song.
Yeah, it's like Entourage. It's catnip for the.
But I'm saying that song is like that song, right? It's like John Lennon singing "Imagine." You know, it's like Imagine. DJ Khaled was willing to eat box.
Right. Yeah, and then
world peace.
And that's it. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Well, you have some really good music videos on your Twitter and Instagram.
Check out my Twitter, my YouTube.
Yeah,
cheer me up. Got more stuff coming out throughout the year.
That's rad.
Hey, thank God, pandemic seems to be maybe
knock on
wood. I don't want to say anything problematic, but maybe ending. Sort of.
I heard it's done. I
just
done.
want to say,
you want to make some news and announce it's over?
Yeah. Why not? Hey, it's over.
George,
COVID is over.
I have a thing you were trying to get me to say earlier, and I feel like I'm going to regret saying it now, but I'm going to make this statement of my own volition. We have officially Nope. God damn
haven't.
it.
We haven't.
God damn it.
George, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, Chicago Bears. Why didn't we do something with that?
Shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was right there.
I like the part. I like when Dan Aykroyd in Blues Brothers, when the band is vamping and playing, and he comes out and goes, "Hey, everybody, welcome to the show tonight. We're gonna have a great show, and this guy's over here, and we got this man. Yeah, we got this guy, and John Belushi's here, and we're gonna do it. And everybody needs somebody. Yeah, that's it. That's my shit. Yeah,
That's
I
good.
was doing the wrong song. Yeah.
Hopefully he'll do that on the show or
I
something.
know.
love
I
it.
want him to
It
do
was the
everything.
bear in the Great Outdoors movie that he did with John Candy, right?
Mhm.
The great outdoors.
Yeah.
And did he sing the na 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 na? Did he sing that for that movie?
Probably.
I don't know. Yeah. Bear
aspirin. When a bear has a headache, they take
George.
He played Yogi Bear. He was the voice of Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear.
In the Yogi, you don't have to do a little reachy on this one. It's right there.
What is it?
Yeah.
What kind of aspirin
Yep.
does a grizzly when a grizzly gets a headache? What kind of aspirin do they take?
What?
Bear.
Tylenol. It's the best one.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Reversed it.
George.
That's what comedy is. It's when you expect something and you get something else.
Expectations.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Perverted.
Oh, fuck you guys.
This has been great.
What?
Yeah. All
I'm waiting for-
comedy.
I'm waiting for George to wrap this, John. I'm
I
trying.
can't wrap it. I'm
I'm trying to wrap it because I'm uncomfortable. I'm like,
I
what am
know.
I think
what
you
do I
can
do?
wrap it, George. I think you have the power to wrap it.
I'm
I
swimming.
can't wrap it because of exactly what you said to us in private, Watto, you wanted us to do from now on.
Oh my God,
And
John.
I'm saying I maybe regret it, and I want to say that you have the power. It's your show, and you can wrap it if you want
You
to.
wanna
And if
say
you
the
don't want
thing
to
that
wrap it,
You want to say
if you don't want to wrap it, that's your choice. But don't make it sound like I'm forcing your hand here.
I also want to give John the out if he wants to go to sleep or something.
John, you need to go to sleep?
No, it's only 9.
Okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm
All right. It will not be that much longer. I would
Watto,
say.
Patrick, do you want me to wrap it?
Hang on one second.
Watto said something.
No, I don't want you to wrap it. At this point, no. You can
God
have
damn
you
it.
can have your
Patrick?
time.
Tell me if you want me to wrap it.
No, I do not want you to wrap it.
I'm going to. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is George Lucas, and I'm here to say, see, I'm not really going to do it, but see the joke that I was doing, Patrick? I played a joke on you like we're in the Bad Trip movie. I played a prank on you as if I was going to do rap music.
I haven't seen that.
Are you starting a cipher? Because I did improv at UCB, and I'm pretty good at freestyle rap.
I mean,
Freestyle
here
rap?
you go.
I'm an improv guy.
Yeah.
John, that was it.
I'm an improv guy. I like to and when I do a scene, you can give me a hand.
Give me some peaches. I prefer them canned.
I'm an improv guy. It's all off the dome. The UCB theater is my second home.
I go to the bank. I take out a loan.
And then I'm
an improv guy. I know what to do.
I can make a scene out of anything, boo.
I can make a craft project out of rubber and glue.
I like to do scenes with my funny friend Lou.
I'm an improv guy. You see what I mean?
I'm an improv guy. I'm keeping it clean.
Patrick, make me full screen. I suggested something last week, running off the fumes of Oops All Bumpers, the unprecedented triumph of Oops All Bumpers. I suggested the thing.
Our second highest viewed video on YouTube ever. Oops, all
What is
bumpers.
this? What is any of this anymore? I suggested the thing. I hoped it would be forgotten. George brought it up. We somehow swerved away, but then Watto jumped back onto the grenade 6 minutes ago, thinking it was time, when in fact he was early. And now, unfortunately, George filibustered with his rap. And I have no
Proper
choice but to
filibuster.
say,
a proper filibuster where you actually have to waste time.
A filibuster rhymes.
Okay.
I now am left with no choice but to admit that this show has officially reached a Zack Snyder's Justice League Plus. 4 minutes, 4 hours, 3 minutes, 1 minute longer than Zack Snyder's Justice League, and may God help us all.
And may the force be with you always.